Good morning, everybody. Pastor Rick, Broadman Baptist Church. This is the Broadman Word for February 14th, 2025. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you have some awesome plans with a special someone, and you're going to celebrate each other like you should. So anyway, today I'm continuing in the book of Acts like I have my last couple words, and it's going to be titled, Why Stand There? And it's kind of an interesting perspective on perhaps how we should be thinking about Jesus and his return today. What are we doing today? And beginning in Acts chapter 1 verse 10, Scripture tells us, they were looking intently up into the sky as he was going, when suddenly two men dressed in white stood beside them, and said, Men of Galilee, they said, why do you stand here looking into the sky? This same Jesus, who's been taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way you have seen him go into heaven. So this is the ascension, and obviously Jesus is taken up, and that would cause you normally to look into the sky, and then a cloud covered it up, and next thing they know, there's a couple of men in white saying, hey, what are you doing? And so thinking about that for us now today, and it's been, some time since the ascension, are we perhaps looking into the sky still? It's an interesting thought. Of course, it's metaphorical, so we're obviously not just standing around looking up into the sky. But not knowing when Jesus is going to return and looking at the state of things around us, I wonder if perhaps it's incumbent upon us to be visionaries, to understand that we don't know when Jesus is coming back. Not even Jesus knows, only the Father knows the date and time of his return. So perhaps instead of us waiting for something, maybe we be a little bit more proactive in our lives. Maybe we get to our ministries and get to our activities laid out before us to move the kingdom forward, to prepare the kingdom here on earth for the return of Jesus as much as we can. And that should give us some urgency because we don't know when it's going to be. How awful would it be if Jesus returned this afternoon and we weren't ready? We hadn't evangelized people in places that we could have. We hadn't spoken to folks about the truth of the gospel like we could have. We hadn't done the things that God laid out for each of us to do, or we hadn't even gotten started. And now Jesus is here and it's too late. I don't want to have that conversation with Jesus. I don't know if we would ultimately have to, because at that point he's come back and, a whole different series of events is in place. But you can imagine how you might feel like any situation where you were given something to do and you didn't get it done because you didn't know when it needed to be done, or you didn't think that you thought you had time. We may or may not have time. We may or may not be moving the kingdom forward like we're supposed to. And I just think that God is worthy of more than that. I think God is worthy of us removing any doubt about having done what we were supposed to do, both individually in our ministries and corporately as congregations, and then nationally and internationally, to have not gotten what we needed to get done is a tremendous failure on the part of Christians, not Christianity. That cannot fail. We know how that ends. So brothers and sisters, today's kind of a short message. I just want you to think, are you metaphorically still standing there looking into the sky, wondering what happened and when he's coming back. Scripture tells us he's going to come back like he left. And it's going to be quite the glorious event. But since we don't know when, let's not look into the sky anymore. Let's look forward into the darkness that's before us, known as the world who needs to know the light of Jesus Christ. And let's shine that light in there. Each of us individually shining our lights as bright as we can to then create effective daylight in the darkness with the truth of the gospel. Then we can rest knowing when Jesus does come back that we've done everything that we could have done to make the kingdom ready for his return. Listen, I love you. You have a marvelous day in the Lord. And again, happy Valentine's Day. You take care.